All right. Ready to dive into Judges 5?
Absolutely.
The Song of Deborah and Barak, huh?
Yeah.
It's a victory song, but it's also like this incredible window into ancient Israel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, their beliefs, their ideas about leadership, their faith, it's all there.
Right. It's amazing how much this one song tells us about their world.
You've got a battle, a prophetess, a military leader, even a heroine who kind of comes out of nowhere.
And the way it's all woven together is just captivating, you know?
Yeah, totally.
It's history, poetry, and theology all in one.
It's not just like a dry history book account, is it?
Not at all.
It's so vivid, so full of emotion.
Exactly.
And those descriptions of God's power, like the earth quaking, the heavens roaring, mountains melting.
Oh, yeah.
It's powerful stuff.
It really paints a picture, doesn't it?
It does.
And that imagery, you know, it's not just there for dramatic effect.
Right.
It's emphasizing God's active involvement in Israel's victory.
It's showing that God is right there with them, in the thick of it.
Exactly. And it highlights this concept that's so central to the Bible, God's sovereignty.
Okay, so God is in control. But this song doesn't just stop there, does it?
No.
It also talks about human responsibility,
Right. It celebrates those who answered the call to action.
like those who actually stepped up and fought,
Yeah. And it criticizes those who stayed passive.
those who just sat on the sidelines.
Yeah.
It's this really interesting tension between, like, divine action and human choice.
Absolutely.
And speaking of choices, let's talk about Deborah.
Right. She's a fascinating figure.
She's front and center in this song.
Definitely.
I mean, she's a prophetess, a judge, a position of authority that was pretty rare for women at the time.
Oh, yeah, especially back then.
So she's clearly a powerful figure.
Absolutely. Her leadership is remarkable.
So what do we know about her? Why is she so important in this story?
Well, she embodies both spiritual and strategic leadership.
Okay, so she's not just a spiritual figurehead.
Well, not at all.
She's actually involved in the decision-making, the planning.
Yeah, she guides the Israelites back to God. But she also rallies them to fight for their freedom.
It's like she's the glue that holds everything together.
It's a powerful combination.
It is.
And it's actually Deborah who calls on Barak, the military leader.
Oh, so Barak is the military guy.
Yeah, he's the one who actually leads the troops into battle.
Okay, so we've got Deborah, the prophetess and judge,
Mm-hmm.
and Barak, the military commander.
Right.
Seems like a pretty clear division of roles.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Spiritual leadership and military strategy.
But then you've got Jael.
Yeah.
And her role is anything but straightforward.
Right, she kind of throws a wrench into the whole neat division of roles thing.
Definitely her story is one of the most dramatic and unexpected in the whole song.
Okay, tell me more about her.
So she's a Kenite woman.
Kenite, so not an Israelite?
No, not an Israelite.
Interesting.
And yet she ends up playing a decisive role in the victory.
How does that happen?
Well, the Canaanite commander, Sisera,
Does the enemy
yeah, he flees the battlefield after they lose to the Israelites.
trying to escape, huh?
Exactly. And he seeks refuge in Jael's tent.
He probably expected hospitality, right?
Probably.
Like, hey, I need help, hide me.
Right. But instead, Jael, in this really daring and decisive act, she killed him.
Whoa, that's intense.
It is.
And that fulfills a prophecy, right?
Yeah. And it secures Israel's victory.
Wow, talk about an unexpected turn of events.
I know, it's a powerful moment in the song.
It is, but it's also, like, kind of brutal, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she kills him in her tent.
Right.
It makes you think, how do we reconcile that violence with the song's message of faith and divine intervention?
That's a question that has challenged interpreters for centuries.
It's not an easy one to answer.
No, it's not.
I mean, the song doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of war, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And Jael's actions, while they're celebrated,
Yeah, they are.
they also raise these questions about the means used to achieve victory. It's like, even in texts rooted in faith, the complexities of human behavior and the consequences of our choices are never ignored.
Exactly.
It's messy, it's complicated, it's real.
It is.
And speaking of complexities, the song doesn't just focus on the heroes, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It also highlights those who chose not to fight.
Right, those who remained passive.
There's that theme of choice again.
Yeah, it calls out those tribes who stayed on the sidelines during the conflict.
Wow, so it's like a public call-out.
It is.
It's like they're saying, hey, you guys didn't pull your weight.
Exactly, and it makes you wonder what message they were trying to send by including that.
Yeah, why put that in there?
Right.
It definitely adds another layer to the narrative.
It does. Yeah, it really makes you think about the choices people make, doesn't it?
It does, and it's interesting how they celebrate the tribes who did fight.
Oh, yeah.
The ones who, as the song says, jeopardize their lives unto death.
Right. They really highlight their courage and sacrifice.
It's like they're saying these are the real heroes. But then they turn around and criticize those who didn't participate.
Yeah, it's a powerful contrast.
It is.
It emphasizes that even in these moments of collective struggle.
And everyone needs to come together.
Yeah.
Individuals still have a responsibility to act.
Right, to choose action over apathy.
It's a pretty strong message.
It is, and it's one that still resonates today, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about all the challenges we face as a society.
Right, like climate change, social injustice.
Yeah, all of that.
It's easy to feel like our individual actions don't really matter.
Like we're just one person, what difference can we make?
Exactly.
But this song, it reminds us that everyone has a role to play.
That even small acts of courage and responsibility can make a difference.
Yeah, and that opting out, staying on the sidelines.
It has consequences.
It does, not just for the individual, but for the whole community.
So it's not just about individual heroism.
No.
It's about understanding that we're all part of something larger.
Right, we're all connected.
And that our choices have ripple effects.
Exactly. And, you know, it's easy to look back at these ancient stories.
And think, oh, that was so long ago, it doesn't apply to us anymore.
Right, like it's just history, ancient history.
But if we really dig into the human element of this song,
The emotions, the fears, the motivations.
it becomes surprisingly relevant to our own lives.
It does, doesn't it?
Totally.
Like think about Barak, for example.
Okay, he's the military leader.
Right, but even he hesitates.
He does.
He needs Deborah's reassurance.
That promise that God will be with them.
Yeah, it shows that even the heroes of these stories,
They weren't superhuman.
no, they wrestled with doubt and uncertainty just like we do.
It makes them seem more real, more relatable.
It does. It humanizes the experience.
Yeah. And it reminds us that courage isn't about the absence of fear.
It's about acting despite that fear.
Right. It's about pushing through those feelings and doing what needs to be done.
Exactly, and I think that's a really empowering message.
It is.
Especially in a world that can often feel overwhelming and unpredictable.
Like we're constantly facing new challenges.
Yeah, and it's easy to feel paralyzed by fear.
Right. Like, what if I make the wrong choice?
But this song, it encourages us to act,
To have faith.
to be courageous.
Even when it's hard.
Exactly. And you know what else is so powerful about this song?
What's that?
It doesn't just focus on the big battles and the famous heroes.
Right. It also highlights those who might not get all the glory.
Exactly, like Jael.
Oh, yeah. She's a fascinating character.
She really is.
She wasn't a military leader or a prophetess,
Right, she was just an ordinary woman.
but her actions were extraordinary.
They were, and they played a crucial role in Israel's victory.
It's a good reminder that heroism can come from unexpected places.
It definitely is.
And that even those who seem insignificant can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. It challenges us to look beyond titles and positions.
And to recognize the potential for greatness in everyone.
Exactly. And, you know, I think there's another really important theme that runs through this song.
What's that?
Gratitude.
Oh, yeah. I love how the song starts and ends with expressions of gratitude.
It's like they're saying, we fought hard, but ultimately this victory is a gift.
Right. It's something to be thankful for.
Exactly. And that sense of gratitude, that ability to appreciate the good even in the midst of challenges.
It's so important, isn't it?
It really is. It can sustain us, empower us, and connect us to something larger than ourselves.
It's like gratitude is the fuel that keeps us going, even when things are tough.
I love that. Gratitude is the fuel.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the song of Deborah and Barak,
Yeah.
I'm curious, what are your final thoughts?
Well, what stands out to me the most is how relevant this ancient song still is today.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was written thousands of years ago, but its message about courage, responsibility, faith, and gratitude.
It speaks to the timeless longings of the human heart,
It really does. It reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles.
that we have the power to make a difference,
And that even when things are tough, there's always reason to hope
to act.
and to keep fighting for what we believe in.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has inspired you
Yeah.
to think about your own journey, your own battles,
And to find those moments of courage, connection, and gratitude.
that make life worth living.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep seeking those moments that make life truly meaningful.